So the webinar has started.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another virtual Excel Academy. We're excited to have everyone here today. We're going to allow everyone a few minutes to get on board. Today's topic, again, we're welcoming everyone to another virtual Excel Academy. Today's topic is going to be up, up, and away again. Our presenter today is going to be Kaelen Penrod, who is a flight attendant, is my understanding. Welcome, Kaelen. Give them just a couple more minutes to get on board. Hello, Isabel. Hello, Donnie. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started then, Kaelen.
All right. Okay, everybody, welcome. I'm super glad to have you here. My name is Kaelen. I am a flight attendant at an airline here in the United States. And I'm really excited to talk to you guys today about traveling. And this is part 2 of our Up, Up, and Away series. And we're going to talk about, the two things that we're going to talk about today are packing. So packing your bag, packing your suitcase with all the stuff that you're going to need for your trip. And we're going to talk about navigating the airport, because the airport can be a really big place and it can kind of be a confusing place sometime. So let's start with how many of you have taken a trip? How many of you have taken a trip somewhere and had to pack a bunch of stuff because it was going to be a trip that was several days long and you needed to bring a whole bunch of stuff with you? Okay, so if you have, great. If not, great, because we're going to talk about a lot of stuff that's going to make it easier. So even if you have gone on a trip or if you haven't, it's always good. It's always a learning process to talk about things that are going to make that easier for you, which will allow you to have more fun on your trip. So the first thing we're going to talk about is packing. And the first thing that we're going to talk about with that is the 3 different types of luggage or bags that you can bring with you on your trip. Isabel or Donnie says, oh, I went to Disney and Mexico. That's cool. And Monica says, oh, she's gone on a trip with her family. That's awesome. That's a really good time, is going on a trip with your family. You can make some memories. The 3 different types of luggage that we use for traveling on airplanes or in the air. The first one is called a personal item. Your second one is called a carry-on bag. And the third item is called a checked bag. And these are important because there are different places that you can stow your luggage on the airplane when you're traveling. And when you're traveling on an airplane, it's really important to know where to stow your luggage because it's very specific places. So does anyone know what the definition of stow is versus store or just put in? So stow is an important word because it means to pack or store carefully and neatly in a particular or specific place. So if you've gone on a trip, basically put away, but the more important thing is that you put it away in a particular spot. So if you've ever gone on a trip in a car, maybe, you can pack any sort of bag you want. You can kind of just throw it into the car or the trunk. It doesn't really matter where it goes as long as it's not going to roll around and get in your way. But when you're traveling on an aircraft, an airplane, or sometimes that use the same word when you're on a boat or some sort of vessel that's on the water, you have to put your stuff in a specific place so that it doesn't roll around and also get in your way. So the 3 types of luggage that we're going to talk about. The first one we're going to talk about here is your personal item. Oh, let's rewind a little bit. So this is also important because airlines have different fees for different types of bags. So it's really important to know what type of bag you have, what can go in it, and where it goes on the aircraft. So the first type of item that we're going to talk about is generally called the personal item. So this is a purse. So this is a personal item I use at work a lot. Just a regular size purse. It's kind of a little bit bigger than the width and height of a laptop. It kind of carries all your essentials, your phone, your wallet, your passport, and a couple other little things you might need. Another example would be a laptop bag, a smallish backpack, or a briefcase. The personal item that I use for fun travel when I'm not working on a plane is this one. It's just a small little backpack. It's about the same size as a normal purse or a normal backpack. And it fits everything I need in it, but you can also wear it on your back so your hands are free and you can carry your other suitcases or other things that you might need to carry with you. And this item is going to fit underneath the seat in front of you on an airplane, okay? And so it's not going to go in the overhead bin, not going to go underneath the plane. You're going to keep it with you, but in order for it to be labeled a personal item, which is usually included in the price of your airline ticket, it does need to go underneath the seat in front of you on the airplane. And a good way to make sure that it does fit underneath the seat in front of you on the airplane is to see if your personal item will slide underneath a regular dining room chair. So if you can slide it underneath and leave it and it stays underneath, totally good. If you have a personal item, like maybe like a kind of a bigger backpack and it's got a bunch of stuff in it and you're trying to shove it underneath the dining room chair and it doesn't really fit, it's kind of sticking out, then it's probably a little too big to be a personal item. You're really only allowed one of these on the plane with you, so it's good to pick one that you can carry easily and that will fit everything you need. The next bigger size up for luggage that you can bring with you is your carry-on luggage. So I've got a little bit of an illustration here that actually came from the website of the airline that I work for. So this is what I see a lot, and this is typical for most airlines in the domestic United States. So this shows a bag that it's about 24 inches tall, which is about 2 feet tall, about 10 inches wide, and about 16 inches this way. And so that is something that's going to fit nice and snug in the overhead bin, which if you remember from the last Up and Away video, is the bin that goes above your seat. So this is a bag that you also take on the plane with you. This is a bag that you also take on the plane with you. Oh, Isabel has a question.
Hi, Isabel. This is Robin again. I am going to give you permission to talk. You know how to unmute yourself, so go ahead and give your comment or question to Kaelen.
Unmute button. Zoom webinar. Lower hand button. How big is the overhead bin?
How big is the overhead bin? That's a great question. It depends on the airline. So usually it's about 18 inches tallish this way, and then the bin runs the entire length of the aircraft cabin. So it goes, and there's 2 sides. So if you remember from our last video, there's 3 chairs or 2 chairs and 2 chairs on one side in rows down the aircraft, and the overhead bin runs the entire length of the aircraft. So there's a place above every single seat for your suitcase to go, and there's no assigned spaces in the overhead bin. You can just put it in the space near your seat. So it's probably about 18 inches tall and probably about a little over 2 feet deep. So if I was gonna look at it, if I'm walking down the aircraft to my seat, turn and look at my seat, I could probably reach my arm, not all the way back, but probably almost all the way back to the wall at the back of it. And then it's all the way down the length of the aircraft. So you can fit everybody's luggage on there. Does that answer your question? You can also look at, there's a lot of different pictures of airplanes on the internet. So you could just type into a image search, airplane overhead bin, and you'd be able to find actually a lot of different pictures that would help you find that. Unfortunately, I don't have one here. I do have one in the last session for the Up and Away series. One important thing about the carry-on is there's technically no weight limit, so you can technically put as much heavy stuff in there as you wanted, but you must be able to lift it in the overhead bin by yourself. So you have to be able to heft it up by yourself and put it in the bin basically by yourself is the expectation there. So if you're traveling with other people in a group, you can have someone help you, or if you're having trouble seeing where the overhead bin is, and it's called the overhead bin because it is situated above all the passengers' heads on the airplane. So you sit down, you're looking up, there's suitcases above you, above in the bin. You can't see them, but there are suitcases above you probably. You do have to be able to lift it yourself. The next biggest suitcase that we have is typically called your checked bag. So this is going to be a bag that's too big to fit in the overhead bin. This is a really good bag to use if you're going on a really long trip, or if you just need to really just bring a lot of stuff with you. Often it's just a bigger version of the carry-on bag. Often it's usually with a handle and wheels, and I've got some pictures later on in our session here that will kind of show it what it is. Typically, they do weigh these bags when you go to give them to the ticket agent, because these bags don't go with you in the cabin of the plane. They go with you in the cargo space underneath the seats in the plane. So this is also not a part of the plane that you see when you're riding on it, but they do go in the cargo space underneath, kind of like a trunk, but instead of in the back of the plane, it's underneath all the seats in the plane. And so typically these bags have a 50-pound weight limit. You can put more than 50 pounds in them, but usually there is an extra charge. So this is also, checked bag also could refer to big oversized luggage that are weird shaped. So this could refer to something like skis or snowboards, golf bags or other sports equipment, larger instruments like tuba or a cello that don't really fit in the overhead bin either. Some people really like to travel with bicycles. Or you can also check something like a wheelchair or a larger size mobility aid.
Hey, Kaelen, this is Robin. We have a question that came through on the chat that you might not have seen because it wasn't set to panelists and attendees. Donnie would like to know if planes have Wi-Fi.
Oh, that's an excellent question. So yes and no. Some planes do have Wi-Fi and some planes don't. And that just depends on the airline. So that is something that will usually pop up when you're purchasing your ticket. That'll be something that you can see is available or not available. And it really just depends on the airline. And even then, sometimes if their airline does generally offer Wi-Fi, there is a chance that it won't be working. So that's definitely something that you should account for. Okay. So what I wanted to show you guys here really quick is the difference in size between a carry-on and a checked bag. So I've got two different suitcases here. On the left is a carry-on size, and I've got a package of Oreos, and this is a regular size package of Oreos that you might find at the grocery store, double stuffed, the best kind. And then on the left is a checked bag size. Now this is a larger size, and this is not necessarily the standard for all checked bags, but you can see that it is significantly larger and you can fit a ton more stuff on there. Danya has another question. Can I bring an iPad on the plane? Absolutely. Yeah, you can totally bring an iPad on the plane. Again, depending on what it is, you may or may not have Wi-Fi. So it is always a good idea to download movies or games or a book or a podcast onto your iPad or other electronic device, your phone, another tablet. It's always a good idea to download that beforehand, because even if your airline does offer Wi-Fi, it might not be working that day. Sometimes things happen. And generally, the airline will not cancel a flight or delay a flight just to fix something like the Wi-Fi. So you can totally bring an iPad. You can bring a laptop. I've seen lots of people bring a lot of different things. You can bring a Nintendo Switch. It just has to fit either in your carry-on or your personal item. So here I've got a photo of something kind of crazy. I've got a suitcase. It is packed full of stuff. You can see this person who packed this suitcase probably is doing a really fun trip. I see flippers, I see a snorkel, I see some sunscreen and some beach towels and some goggles. They look like they're going to have a lot of fun. But their stuff is bursting out of this suitcase. Nothing's folded. Things are kind of just shoved in there. They've got a name tag on the front part of their suitcase, the pink one, but it's not even filled out. They don't have their name or their address on it. It's just blank. So this would be a good example of probably what not to do when we're packing. So we're going to talk a little bit about what we probably shouldn't pack and what we probably should pack. Can anyone tell me what kind of things are probably a good idea to pack with you on an airplane? Or on any sort of trip, really. Monica says medicine. Oh, absolutely. That's something that's very important to pack with you on our trip. Depending on where you're going, it might not be possible or easy to get medicine that you might need. Or if it is, it would probably take a good chunk of time out of your day, which is not fun when you have other things scheduled and other things you want to do. Especially when we're on a trip, a lot of times we have limited time on that trip. We generally can't just expend a day. Sometimes we can, sometimes we can't. Mike says clean clothes. That is an excellent idea. We should definitely pack clean clothes on our trip. No one wants to be smelly on their trip. Yeah. Let's see. Mateo says some things I can pack are toothpaste, toothbrush, shampoo, and soap. Definitely. Those are definitely good things to pack. Depending on where you're going, if you're going to stay at a hotel, sometimes they do have items there for you, like shampoo and conditioner. They'll have those in the bathroom. But if you're going to go on a trip where maybe you're staying in an Airbnb, maybe you're staying somewhere else, they may not always be available, or they may not be the products that you particularly like. So it's always a good idea to pack your own stuff. One of the things that I would start with when talking about packing is that it's a really good idea to make a list of all the things you'll need beforehand. It's easier if you make a list and you can kind of change it and change that list over time. And then when it's time for you to pack, like the day or the night before your trip, you have a whole list listed out for you, and you can kind of go down and say, okay, shirts, check. Socks, check. Underwear, definitely check. And make sure you're not forgetting anything. Another packing, kind of general packing tip I have is to pack a dual purpose item. So can anyone tell me what I mean by dual purpose? What does dual mean? So dual means two. So dual purpose items mean items that you could probably use for two different purposes. So maybe you would pack a scarf. Yep, two purposes. Perfect, Monica. So maybe you could pack a scarf that you could also use as a beach blanket, or maybe you would want to pack a pair of shoes that goes for a couple of different activities, or you want to pack some shareable items. So if you're traveling with a group of people, and if you're all like me and you use a blow dryer and hairspray on the regular, then not every person in your group necessarily has to bring a blow dryer or hairspray. Maybe one of you can bring the blow dryer and one of you can bring the hairspray, and you can share. And then you're packing less than you need to. A third thing that I think is a really good idea for packing is to have a specific place for all the important items that you're packing. So your phone, your wallet, your passport, your boarding pass. I have specific places, specific pockets in my suitcase and in my personal item that those items go into when I travel. Donnie asks, why doesn't everybody have to bring stuff? Because if you're going on a trip with other people, and you're going in a group, you're all going to stick together, then maybe there's some things that you can share. So one person can bring a blow dryer, one person can bring hairspray. If you're traveling with your family, sometimes you can bring something like toothpaste to share, or if you like your own toothpaste, that's okay too. Or something like sunscreen that you can that you can share among people. Sometimes that's easy to do too. So really quick, what shouldn't we pack? We can ask ourselves some questions about the kind of trip that we're having to kind of figure out what kind of stuff we shouldn't pack. Generally, if you're going to go on a relaxing vacation, maybe you don't need to bring, workout clothes to do exercise while you're there. If you're going on a trip where you're going to do a lot of hiking, you probably don't need to bring like a ball gown. Probably not. Donnie says cigarettes. Probably shouldn't bring cigarettes. That's okay. You can ask yourself whether or not a washer and dryer is going to be available. Sometimes if you're going on a trip and you're going to go stay in a hotel, the hotel may or not have a washer and dryer. But if you're going to go on a trip and stay with your grandma at your grandma's house, she probably does have a washer and dryer. So you might not need to pack as many clothes because you'd be able to do laundry halfway through your trip and then have a bunch more clean clothes. And the two main things that we really shouldn't pack in our carry-on items though, I do want to talk about this really quick. Two things that we really shouldn't pack in our carry-on items are liquids over 3.4 ounces and stuff that the TSA might call dangerous. So the TSA stands for Transportation Security Administration. You don't really need to know that, but it is an organization that scans passengers and screens passengers as they're going into the airport to make sure that no one's carrying anything dangerous. So liquids over 3.4 ounces, I have a couple examples here for you. So this is sunscreen, just a quick little plastic bottle. This says on the front of it 3 fluid ounces. You can't really see it, so you'll just have to trust me. So this does fall under the category of 3.4 fluid ounces. I can put this in a carry-on and bring it with me in the cabin of the plane, and it's totally going to be fine. However, I also have this bottle of makeup remover. This is a 5-ounce bottle. So they're about the same size, but the sunscreen is a little bit smaller, so you can see it technically holds less liquid. So if I try and put this in my carry-on, it's going to get picked up by the scanner, and the TSA agent who's scanning everybody through will have to pull me aside, open my suitcase, pull it out, and say, I'm throwing this away, and they're going to throw it away in the garbage, which is sad and kind of wasteful. So you definitely want to be able to check and make sure that all of your liquids in your carry-on items are underneath the limit of 3.4 ounces, and then also make sure that you're not carrying any dangerous items. And there's a whole big list on the TSA website if you need any help accessing that website. And then a lot of things let's go on to the happier thing of what should we pack. A couple of things that we should consider when we are packing for our trip is the weather. So if it's going to be really nice warm weather, we can pack a lot of t-shirts, shorts, stuff that we wear in the summertime. But if it's going to be like a really cold day one of those days, probably want to bring a jacket. If you do bring a jacket or something else that's really bulky, it's probably a good idea to wear it on the plane with you. I've got a picture here of a very small child wearing a pretty big jacket, but I want you to imagine putting that jacket in that suitcase, in your carry-on suitcase. How much space do you think that jacket would take up that you would be able to put a lot of other clothes in the suitcase instead? You also want to bring items that are versatile. And does anybody know what I mean by versatile or versatility? Monica says many uses. Many uses, absolutely. So versatility just refers to something that can be used in a lot of different ways. A good example of versatility is jeans. Jeans are an item that you can dress up or dress down. You can wear it with a bunch of different stuff. If you can add some accessories and make them fancy, you can throw in a t-shirt with some jeans, and it's an outfit that goes for pretty much anything. I've got an example here for you of a woman on the left-hand side. There's two different women in our pictures here. So the woman in the left-hand side, she's got blonde hair. On the left side of this dual image picture, she's got the same pair of jeans on in each picture, but you can see on the left-hand side, she's got a top that has a cute little tie in the front. She's got a purse. She's got some cute sandals. She's got some earrings on, which is really cool. So she's taken one pair of jeans and she's added a lot of other items that make it look fancy. She looks like she's going to go have like a fun lunch with her friends. She looks like she's going to go, walk around somewhere cool. And then it's the same woman on the right side over here. And it's the same pair of jeans, but you can see she's just wearing a real casual tank top, not really any jewelry. She's got kind of flatter shoes. So she's used one item to make two different outfits. And then you can see over on the right-hand side, this is a girl with long dark hair, and she's got 10 different outfits using one skirt. So this is one skirt that she's turned into 10 different outfits with different shirts, shoes, and accessories. And so that's really easy. You do have to kind of plan a little bit more, but it is really cool if you can take one item and make it work for different uses, and then it means you can pack less stuff And then you'll have more room in your suitcase for all the other things you need. And this isn't just for women either. This is for guys too. So you can see this guy on the left, he's got a white button-down shirt and it's short-sleeved. He's got it unbuttoned and he's got a little t-shirt underneath. He's kind of casual looking, super chill. He's probably hanging out with his friends. But then you can see our friend on the right-hand side. He's got the same style of shirt. It's a white button-up shirt, short sleeves, but he's got it all the way buttoned, and he's got a cool little bow tie. He's got accessories. He's got some nicer pants on instead of jeans. This guy is probably on his way to like a nice date or like a nice time at the museum or something like that. So you can take one different item and see if you can make a couple of different outfits about it. And then there's one or two more tips I want to go through with you real quick. So something that I think is a really good idea for people to use is called packing cubes. I've got 2 different photos of a bunch of different packing cubes, and I've got one here too. This is a pretty small version. They do make bigger sizes and bigger versions of them. And what it is just a nylon bag, and it's got some mesh panels so that your clothes can breathe if you need them to. But it's a way to put a lot of clothing into one small bag. So you can kind of stuff it in and make sure that you can take as much as you can and use up all the space in your suitcase. And B, it's a really good idea to keep your stuff organized. So some people will use different packing cubes. You can see in the photo on the left with the purple packing cubes, she has different items in different packing cubes. So you can use one for shirts, you can use one for pants, you can use one for your undergarments or socks. In my luggage, I have a couple different containers, one that has makeup stuff, one that has some other bathroom stuff. I have a packing cube that has my work uniforms in it, like this one. You can see I've got my flight attendant uniform on. It's a white shirt. I also have a couple different other things that I can wear. And I also have one for casual clothes, because when I'm going on a work trip, you're working during the day, you're in your uniform, and then you get to your hotel in a different city, and then maybe you want to go out and have some dinner, and you don't really want to wear your uniform for that. So the other things, and also the other thing you can do is use plastic bags, and you can divide, and you can also use packing cubes for this, but rather than putting shirts and shoes and pants in a different bag, you can also organize different outfits in a gallon-sized bag. And you can see on the left, there's a gallon-sized bag. It's just a plastic Ziploc bag, one that you might use for cooking or for your lunch. And it's labeled with the word Tuesday. So this person has organized an entire outfit for one day. You can see a pair of jeans, a shirt, some socks, some undergarments, and you can also do that. So you can put different outfits into plastic bags for different days. And that's a really good way to organize your clothes if you might need some help organizing by color or organizing by day for the weather. So that's also a good idea. And the one other thing that we should probably bring with us, I think Mike mentioned clean clothes, and then someone else mentioned toothbrush, toothpaste, shampoo, and soap. Another word for all of those items that encompasses all of those items is toiletries. And when I say toiletries, do I mean toilet trees? Trees and toilets, or toilets and trees? No. Toiletries is another word that you can use for anything that you would use in the bathroom. So like, to go back a couple of slides, a lot of times the TSA does have a limit on items that are liquid. So this 5-ounce bottle of makeup remover would not be allowed through, but there are a lot of really cool options nowadays for items that are typically come in liquid form to come in solid form. So here I've got some examples of some items that typically come in liquid form, but I have some examples here of examples in solid form. So on the left, there are toothpaste tablets. So instead of using the toothpaste in the tube, you can use a tablet and you can chew it up and brush your teeth with that. There are different options for shampoo and conditioner that come in bars, kind of like body soap can come in bars. And the one image here on the right, I know it kind of looks like deodorant, but it's actually sunscreen. So like this sunscreen here that I have in my hand, this is liquid sunscreen in a plastic tube, but you can also get it in a solid tube. Donnie has a question, are planes handicapped? Planes do accommodate handicapped passengers. There's a lot of different ways that they can do that. We're actually going to get to that in a few minutes. The main thing that I want to leave with you guys in packing is that just like anything else, packing for your trip it's a skill. It takes practice. I'm still learning the best way that packing all my stuff works for me. And we've all been there where we accidentally pack too much stuff or accidentally don't pack enough stuff, and that's okay. It really is a learning process, and it's different for everybody. And so it's a good thing to just do your best. Try and prepare ahead of time. You can make lists, divide up your outfits, use packing cubes, do your best to make sure you're getting everything right. But if you make a mistake, you accidentally bring your 5-ounce bottle of makeup remover and then the TSA agent decides to throw it away, that's okay. You can always get some more. It's not a big deal. And it really, the best thing to do is just to go on a trip, do your best to pack the best way you can, and then learn from it. Okay. Now, the second part that I want to get into with everybody today is moving through the airport. So, has anyone been to the airport? Yes, Isabel has a question.
Hey, Isabel, this is Robin. Sorry, I believe you can just unmute. So go ahead and unmute when you are ready.
Audio now unmuted.
Do airplanes have showers?
That is a great question. Airplanes do not have showers. Typically, no, not at all. So they do have a bathroom, they do have a sink, but that's pretty much it. So it's a good idea probably to take a shower before you go to the airport, because generally, unless you're going on a very, very, very long trip to the other side of the world,
yeah,
you really won't be on the aircraft very long. It really depends on how long your trip is. So if you're going on a trip to the other side of the world, you might be in the aircraft, for, up to 12 or maybe even like 16 hours. There really is nowhere for you to take a shower. So a good thing to do is to bring maybe like some baby wipes or something like that. If you feel like you might need a little refresh at some point during your flight, you can totally bring those. You can bring mints or like chewing gum. You can go in the bathroom and brush your teeth. You definitely can do that. But to take a whole shower, definitely not. And we'll get into that a little bit too. Does that answer your question?
yes.
Donnie wants to know how long is 16 hours? It's a long time. It's a very long time. And we'll get into some examples of that also. So I do want to go through a couple of terms that you should know. So we talked a little bit about TSA, which is the screening that you need to do between checking your bag and going to your gate. Can anyone tell me the difference between checking in and checking a bag? So checking in is when you come to the airport or before and you basically say, "Hi, I'm here, I'm ready to fly." Because most people purchase their airline tickets weeks or even months before their flight actually happens. And so usually the check-in process happens within 24 hours of your flight. And so in between when you purchase your ticket and when you actually fly, you might change your mind. You might say, "Oh no, I can't go. I had something come up. I've decided not to travel for whatever reason." So the check-in process is what airlines use to figure out what the difference is between when whether or not when you purchase your ticket and if you're actually going to fly that day. So Mike says, yeah, checking a bag is when you have a large bag to check in, not a carry-on. Correct. So checking a bag is a word that we use similar to checking a coat, or something like that. So to check in this context means to give to someone else to take care of for you. And so you do that with larger bags that won't come onto the plane with you. It's really important to have your name and a phone number and potentially your address on your checked bag. So that way, if it ends up getting lost in the airport somewhere, which doesn't happen very often, but does happen occasionally, they'll be able to give you a call and let you know where your bag is. Donnie says, what's a context? I apologize. Context is just the situation that we're talking about at this moment. So in this situation that we're talking about, to check a bag means to give it to the airline to take care of and put underneath the plane for you, because you definitely don't put it underneath the plane yourself. They have other people that will do that for you. And then a couple other terms that we want to talk about are terminal, concourse, and gate. Has anyone heard of the terms terminal, concourse, and gate before? So we'll get through all of these. So terminal, concourse, and gate are different areas in the airport. Mike's correct. They are all places in the airport. Airports can be really big or relatively small. The smallest airport that I frequently go to with my job is the airport in Trenton, New Jersey. It only has 2 gates, which means it only has 2 different places where an aircraft can pull in and people can get on and off. Or you can talk about a really large airport. One of the busiest airports in the world is the Atlanta airport. That airport has almost 200 gates. So at any given time, there are 200 airplanes that people are getting on and getting off at the same time, which is crazy. It's huge. So in order of size, so you have the airport. Within the airport, there are different terminals. Sometimes within terminals, there are different concourses. And on the concourses, there are different gates. So it's basically like going from the main airport, and then each terminal is kind of like a different branch, kind of like a tree. Or if you've seen like an old-timey wagon wheel, like I've got a picture of an old-timey looking wagon wheel on the right side of the screen here. So there's a middle part, and then there's different spokes or branches that go off into different areas in different directions. So I've got a map here of the airport that I use the most often, which is the Chicago O'Hare Airport. So you can see there's a ton of different branches, different terminals, branch over here. And if you are having trouble seeing it, don't even worry. You can see if there's someone later that you can ask for a tactile version. And this one looks a little bit more like the branches of a tree. You can see there's like bigger areas and areas where it branches out. I've got another map here of the Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport. This is a pretty big airport too. This doesn't really look at all like the spokes of a wheel, but you can definitely still see all of these purple areas that are branching out from the gray areas. These are also all terminals where airplanes can pull in and let people on and off. So the bigger the airport, the more ways there are to get around. We're going to talk about a couple different ways that you can get around the airport. It really kind of just depends on the airport you're going to. The airport in Trenton, New Jersey doesn't really have any escalators or anything like that. Doesn't really have any ways. Mostly you just walk in, you go through the security checkpoint, and your plane's right there. Super easy. But the big airport in Atlanta that I was talking about earlier, there are a bunch of different trains. You're always going to have to get on a train to go to the terminal that you want to. So typically, the bigger the airport, the more ways there are to get around. And we're going to talk about a few of them here. The first thing that we're going to talk about is the escalator. Who has been on an escalator before? Donnie says, I have. Yeah? Many of you probably have. Escalators are what you have in the mall. Often if you're next to if you live near a really big mall. Mike says he loves riding the escalator. Totally. The escalator is a great time. So typically you'll find these in your mall, in your the mall that's nearby if you've ever been to the mall. Sometimes you'll have them in like other big areas like sports arenas. So think about the size of like a football stadium or a baseball stadium if you've ever been to a football game or a baseball game or any other big sports game where a lot of people go to play or go to watch. It's the same deal. So same thing, it's just basically some stairs, they're moving upward. Super easy. And then usually there's tons of regular stairs too. But if you're traveling with a suitcase, and if you're traveling with a carry-on suitcase, and other bags, you've got your personal line, you've got your suitcase, maybe you're carrying your phone in one hand because you're like using your phone to help you find your way around, an escalator is probably going to be one of your better options than stairs. Another thing they have at the airport that they don't often have other places though is something called a moving walkway. And it's basically the same concept as an escalator, but it's flat. Has anyone ever been on a moving walkway before? Or has anyone seen a moving walkway that is not in the airport, is somewhere else? So these are usually in airports because, again, airports can be really huge. They can be miles long. You might spend 20 minutes or more walking from the point when you leave the security checkpoint to actually get to your gate. Because they're just really big, because airplanes are really big. So the airplanes need a lot of room, and so they have to make airports sometimes really big in order to accommodate all the airplanes that are coming in and out. So I've got some pictures of a moving walkway here, and it's basically a moving sidewalk. You kind of walk onto it, and it might take it, you just walk right onto it. Usually, there are two moving walkways in different directions. I've got the photo on the upper right-hand side that shows two moving walkways side by side. So often one's moving in one direction and one's moving in the opposite direction. So people who are coming to and from their planes or to and from other places in the airport can both go the same direction. Sometimes it's only one. They might only have one moving walkway in the direction of your gate, because when you're coming off of your plane, maybe people really just want to be able to walk. Mike says he has been on a moving walkway and you feel like you're moving faster. That's because you are. That's the purpose of a moving walkway, is to help people traverse or help people move across a surface at a faster pace, and also help them not get as tired out as much, because sometimes it is a really long walk. And again, there are a lot of people who travel who do have a disability, whether it's something that prevents them from walking as fast as as someone who doesn't have a disability maybe could, or maybe they just need help seeing, or maybe they just get tired really quickly. So there's also moving walkways that'll help people get there faster, so they don't have to, or just so they don't have to walk a huge long distance. Another mode of transportation that you might encounter in the airport is called the tram, or a train, or a skyway, or sometimes a people mover. There's a lot of different words for this type of transportation, and none of it is super specific. I do have a couple of photos here, but it's basically a smallish train that only goes between different terminals in the airport. So some really large airports will have a tram or a little train that goes between different terminals and or concourses. And sometimes there's a way that you can walk. Sometimes you don't have to take the train if you really want to walk the whole way from the security checkpoint to your terminal, or if you want to walk between other terminals if you have a connecting flight. Sometimes you'll be able to walk if you just really feel like walking. Some airports, though, you absolutely do have to take the train. There's no other option. But usually there are pretty big signs that will let you know where the train is, and they'll be able to help you get on there. Donnie has a good question. Who's allowed to use sighted guide on airplanes? That is an excellent question. That brings us to our next topic, is getting special assistance on the airplane. So who's allowed to use sighted guide? Pretty much anyone. However, the flight attendants on the aircraft And the special assistance employees who also might help you be able to get to your gate, may or may not actually be trained to use sighted guide. So this is a situation in which it might be really good to know to advocate for yourself. And you might really need to know how to ask for sighted guide, and also how to tell someone like how to do it. So you might have to really just explain to someone, hi, I need help finding my seat. Can I hold onto your shoulder or your elbow and you can walk with me there? Because a lot of people really haven't heard of that. I'll be honest, when I was in training for my job, it was a 4-week training and we learned about a ton of different stuff, from how to put out a fire, how to evacuate an aircraft, how to use an oxygen tank, how to look for trafficking situations, how to take care of someone who might be sick. We learned a ton of different stuff. However, one of the things that we really didn't talk about at all was working with individuals who are blind or have a vision impairment. Sighted guide was not really touched on at all. It was more just, hey, let's ask the person who is blind what would be the best way to help them. But anything like that, sighted guide or anything past that, we really didn't talk about. It's because again, blindness is a low incidence disability, so it's just not something that a lot of people or visual impairments is really not something that we talked about a whole time. So the best thing to do is just be to advocate for yourself and to tell people the best way to help you. And you can just say, I need help. I can't see very well. This is what I need someone to do for me. And honestly, the flight attendants or the gate agents, the assistance person who you're talking to, they'll be happy to help. But sometimes you might need to tell them the best way to do that. So I do want to go through really quick some of the things that, there is a way to request special assistance at the airport. You can do that when you purchase your ticket. And there is, I do have a couple of slides in this slide deck that kind of show how to do it. And you'll be able to pull that up later and take a look at it. So you can request it online when you're purchasing your ticket. And you can also request it if you call on the phone to purchase a ticket. If you forget, that's totally fine. You can also request special assistance when you get to the airport. You can request it when you're checking in a bag. You can request it even if you think like, no, I can get there by myself, I'm all good, but maybe it's a really big airport that you're not familiar with, and maybe you get halfway there, you get a little lost. That's totally okay. If you can just look for someone who's wearing a badge. So I've got my badge with me here. I usually wear it on a lanyard. Typically, someone who works at the airport will have a badge and they will wear it on a lanyard. Not all the time, but just look for someone who has a badge or some sort of work ID that indicates they work there. Just pull them aside and say, hi, sorry to bother you, but I would really, I really need some help finding my gate. Can you call someone to help me find my gate? Most often not, they'll either be able to help you right then, they can help you call someone, or they'll let you, they'll bring you to a customer service counter or somewhere else where you can ask someone else to call for that for you. So at any point you can ask for it. Ask anyone who's standing behind a counter. You might have to wait in line a little bit, but you can ask for it at any time. The best way to do it would be to ask for it when you purchase your ticket, and there is a way online to do that. But if you do get to the airport, I just want to go through really quick in our last 10 minutes or so, a couple of things that you will see at the airport as far as snacks and shopping. So one thing I do want to let you guys know, at the airport, everything is more expensive. So this goes back to being prepared for our trip. Remember how we packed our carry-on, we packed our check bag, we've got our personal item, and we made a list beforehand. If we forget something, totally okay. But I do want to let you guys know, if you are traveling, everything at the airport is more expensive. So for example, think about a regular cell phone charger. This is something that is probably really important for you to have, to charge your phone, be able to get the things you need. You probably want to be able to call someone when you land, or look up information, or use it to help you read things that are too small. So think about a normal cell phone charger like this. How much do you think you would pay for a normal cell phone charger at like the Target or the Walmart or some other place in your regular life? How much do you think you would have to pay for just a regular cell phone charger? So it really depends. Probably you can get one for not too much. $10, $15 maybe. It really depends. However, at the airport, for a regular old cell phone charger that everybody has, you're probably going to end up paying more like $30, $20 or $30, $20 if you're lucky and you find a really cheap one. So it is really important to plan ahead. Make sure you have everything with you that you need. However, if you do forget something, there are places in the airport, at most bigger airports, where you can get the things that you need. So in order to do that, you probably, and depending on how big your airport is, you will have to walk through a bunch of restaurants and shops. And you can purchase food in the airport too. But you do have to walk through a lot of stuff to get there. So you've got fast food places. There are restaurants that you can sit down in. Depending on how big the airport is, sometimes there are like just regular shopping stores. One thing that I would look for, though, if you end up needing something important, like a phone charger or maybe contact solution, or maybe you're like, oh no, I forgot my chapstick at home. I really wish I had some chapstick. Airports do have convenience stores, but they're kind of hard to find unless you know what you're looking for. And so the name of the store that I see the most often that has convenience store items like chapstick, gum, phone chargers, even headphones. The store brand is called Hudson News. So I've got a photo of one here. There are also other versions that are often news related. Sometimes there are stores called Newslink. Sometimes there are stores called the CNBC store. They're often news related because they started out as smaller news stands, just selling newspapers, sometimes books, because people want to buy newspapers and books to read on the plane. But they have since expanded into larger stores that have tons and tons of stuff. So you can buy newspapers and books. You can also buy snacks. You can buy essential items like chargers or chapstick. Everything in there is going to be more expensive, but they are there in case you do end up needing something. So that is an option for the future if you decide to travel. If you end up forgetting something at home, the best place in the airport to look is not necessarily one of the fancy stores, like I've gotten this photo over here, not necessarily a restaurant. They probably don't have it for you. The best place to look would be a Hudson News or a place that has a lot of books and magazines. Couple more things I want to go through. The best place to use the bathroom. So Isabel asked earlier, do airplanes have showers? Airplanes do not have showers. And before we get there, Donnie asks, do airports have large print books? Typically, no. Typically, airports do not have large print books. I have never seen a large print book in an airport news store. So you might have to bring your own, or you might have to download one on your iPad or your Kindle or your other reading tablet in order to read a large print book, unfortunately. That's a good question, though. That definitely is something that maybe we could all have the airports do that. One more thing I want to get to is, so we already talked about, do airplanes have showers? Generally, no. Do airplanes have bathrooms? Always. Airplanes always have bathrooms. However, they are tiny. They are tiny, 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 tiny. So something that I always recommend as a flight attendant and as a regular traveler is to go to use the bathroom before your flight in the terminal. So bathrooms in the terminal do not look like the bathrooms on the airplane. Bathrooms typically look like bathrooms in the airport look like ones in other public spaces, such as malls or parks or stadiums. So it's usually a bigger room. It usually is full of stalls, which are little rooms with doors, don't quite touch the bottom. They're very, very small rooms. And then the sink is on the other side. So you'll be able to close the door and be able to use the bathroom in private, but you'll have to go outside and you'll use the sink in front of other people, which is nice because the mirror is a lot bigger. There's a lot more elbow room. I would always recommend going to the bathroom in the terminal. There are a lot of times that I have been working on the plane. So I'm on the plane, people are boarding. I'm like, hello, welcome aboard. Hello, welcome aboard. Hello. And people will put their stuff down in their seat and they'll run all the way to the back of the plane. And they're like, oh, I'm super glad I was able to get on the plane. Now I can go to the bathroom. And you're just like, why? So airplanes do have bathrooms. You can use them when you're boarding. However, I would always recommend using the bathroom before your flight in the terminal because it's going to be a lot more space and because it's going to be a lot easier during the boarding process. All right, in the last couple of minutes here, there's one more thing I want to talk about, and it is connecting flights. A connecting flight versus a direct flight. A direct flight, can anyone tell me what a direct flight is? So a direct flight, also known as a nonstop flight, is where you get on the airplane in your original location. So I live in Chicago, and if I want to go to Japan, a direct flight is where I would get on the plane in Chicago, sit down, read my book, the airplane flies, it lands in Japan in the Tokyo Narita airport, and then I get off the plane and I go on my trip to Japan. A connecting flight is a flight where there are two legs. There are two different flights in order to reach your final destination. So if I live in Chicago and my final destination is Japan because I'm going on a trip to Japan, I might find a connecting flight that goes from Chicago to San Francisco. I might have to get off the aircraft and be in the San Francisco airport for a while, and then I'll get back on another airplane and I'll fly over to Japan and I will land in Japan. So it's the same flight, probably the same day. It's the same ticket usually, but I would get off the airport in the middle. And so you might do a connecting flight because it costs less money, or you might do a connecting flight in order to break up that time, the time in the air, because being in the air for 14 hours is a long time. But if you can break it up into like 9 hours and 5 hours, that might be a little bit better. And that's, let's see. And we're almost done. We got a couple more minutes. There are a couple more slides in this slide deck that have more examples of all the stuff we've talked about. One last question I want to ask is, why do I think you guys need to know all of this? Why is all of this important? Why is all of this important information to know? So it's important to be an active traveler. It's important to be an active participant in the travel process. Mike says it's to make travel safe and fun. Absolutely, because traveling is a lot more fun when you're not worried or stressed out or when you feel unsafe. Traveling is a lot more fun when you are an active participant and you can make decisions for yourself, when you can be an advocate for yourself. There are so many people traveling on airplanes at any given time in the day or night that you have to be the one who looks out for yourself. There's no one in the airport who's like sitting, in a little tower, looking down to be like, oh, well, Kaelen's here. All right, we'll keep an eye on her. We'll make her, make sure she gets to her gate on time. No one's doing that. You have to be the one who looks out for yourself. And even in a group of people, if you're traveling in a group of people and someone else is making the decisions, wouldn't it be better to be an active participant and to make suggestions and to be able to help solve a problem if a problem arises? And that's what makes it fun, is when you are looking out for yourself and when you are making the decisions, and when you can be an active participant in that. So I think we are almost just about done. So thank you guys for coming to our session today. I hope everybody learned a little bit of something, and I will see you all later.
Thank you, Kaelen. I know as someone who hasn't traveled in about a year, I am very excited to start my adventures again. And I certainly learned a few tricks that might make my next trip much better and much smoother, because I happen to be one of those procrastinator packers. So, but thank you. I think you had some great suggestions. Thank you for everybody for participating today. And we look forward to your next session. Is it about in a month? Is that correct, Kaelen?
We'll see.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, and have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.